المقامة الحادثة عشرة الساوية. الساوية. 11th Maqama Sawiya. After 9th, we are skipping the 10th Maqama, moving on to 11th. Because the 10th Maqama is more about another old man coming to a Qazi with his claiming to be his young son, and then mentioning all the beauties of the young lad. And the Qazi was said to be gay, so he lured him towards his beautiful appearance and claimed that this person had killed his young son. So he wants his life in qisas. But Qazi said, let him off and I will pay you 100 dinars. He said, okay. Qazi paid him 50 and he said, I'll give you the other 50 dinars tomorrow. So he said, yes, but I will guard him throughout the night. And then before early morning, he just slips away with the 50 dinars. So in that description of the young lad, he entices the Qazi. So we'll just leave it. We'll move on to the 11th Maqama. Now, 11th Maqama, Hariri, the author's habit is that in the first Maqama, he normally mentions something about death, akhirat. Like you notice the first Maqama, 11th, 21st, 31st, 41st, it will all be about nasihat, wa'az, reminder, death, life after death. The fifth Maqama is normally about some 5, 15, 25, something special about literacy. So he has some theme in them. First 11, 21st is about death and life after death. And this Maqama is one of the masterpieces of Harith. Because what happens here is Harith ibn Hammam says that I felt some hard-heartedness. So I thought the cure of that is in visiting the graveyard as in the hadith. So let me go to the Qabristan. And I went and there was a janazah there. And whilst people were preparing for the burial, an old man covered in a cloak rose from a slight hill and he addressed the congregation and he gave a beautiful speech. And in that speech, he mentioned death, life after death, and he rebuked people for being indulged with the worldly life and not paying attention to the hereafter and akhirat. And the poetry is beautiful. يا من يدعي الفهم إلى كم يا أخ الوهم تعبي الذنب والذم وتخطئ الخطأ الجم أما بان لك العيب أما أنذرك الشيب وما في نصحه ريب ولا سمعك قد صم أما نادى بك الموت أما تخشى من الفوت أما أسمعك الصوت فتحتاط وتهتم. Now, this poetry, when I used to teach in Darul Uloom, I used to make the kids memorize it. Will you memorize it? Though one student who was not of with good istidad was a little bit bichara, all right. But they used to learn it. They say, Maulana Sahab wouldn't learn Hidayah or any other kitab, all right, we would be reading Maqaamat, memorizing it. Because at that time, it was in the 80s. There was no restriction. I had to keep one stick. और कोई याद करके ना आए तो पिटाई करता था मैं. Maulana Mahmood Chandiya Sahab, he studied Maqaamat by me. So one time the class didn't learn it properly, and I was angry with the whole class, and I beat everyone up with the stick. Maulana Mahmood Chandiya को भी लगाई थी the stick. तो वो एक लड़का बेचारा डब्बूस किस्म का था, इतना होशियार नहीं. He went for Taraweeh to Ireland. And there was an Arab masjid. So they told him to do some bayan. And he sat on the member, talk about death, and he sang this poetry. MashaAllah, yatakallam bi kalam fasih. So he said, "Maulvi sahab kuch nahi, wo maqamat yaad ki thi, wo wahan par maine suna di." Anyway, this is al-maqamatul hadiyatu asharatu as-saviyatu. Saviyah is related to Sava. Sava is a city between Rai and Hamdan. Rai is the ancient name of Tehran. Tehran is the new name and Rai is the old name. So, do you have the PDF in front of you? Read it from the PDF and follow. वो ऑन किया तुमने क्लास? Is he on? Who's on it? चलो उनको बोलो YouTube पे भी देख सकते हैं. 3 आदमी हैं. हाँ चलो ठीक है. इनको PDF भेज दी. अब they got it. Open it. चलो. قال أنا حدث الحارث بن همام قال آنست من قلب القساوة حين حللت ساوة. I felt in my heart hardness when I descended in Sawa. آنس يونس إناسا آنس من جانب الطور نارا, to perceive, to become aware of something. I noticed in my heart hardness. Qasawa, qasa yaqsu qaswatan, qaswan, qaswatan, qasawatan, qasa'atan means to become hard. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْقَاسِيَةِ قُلُوبُهُم مِّن ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ قَسَتْ قُلُوبُكُم مِّن بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ فَهِيَ كَالْحِجَارَةِ أَوْ أَشَدُّ قَسْوَةً. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الغفلة والقسوة is in the hadith. Dua. Allah, I seek your refuge from qasawati qalb. حين حللت ساوة, حل يحل حلولا means utarna, to descend. Sawa, the name of the large city between Tehran and Hamdan. Tehran is in Iran. Hamdan is some northern part of Iran. فأخذت بالخبر المأثور في مداواتها بزيارة القبور. So I betook myself to the tradition which is transmitted regarding its cure by visiting the graves. أخذت, I took hold of. Al-Khabar, the tradition, the hadith. Al-Ma'thur, Athara Ya'thuru means Naqala Yanqulu. Al-Ma'thur means Al-Manqul, which is narrated regarding fi mudawatiha bi ziyaratil qubur, doing ilaj of it with ziyaratul qubur, meaning dawa yudavi mudawatan, cure, heal, ilaj. Ziyarat from zara yazuru, ziyaratan, visit. Al-qubur, tombs, graves. Meaning, Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Kuntu nahaytukum an ziyaratil qubur, ala fazuruha fa innaha tudhakkiru al-akhirah." Visit qabr because it reminds you of akhirat. And in one hadith, a person said, "Ya Rasulullah, my heart's gone hard." Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave 3 prescriptions. Imsah ra's al-yatim, wipe your hand over the head of an orphan, and visit the sick and help them. And number 3, go to the graveyard and look at those who have died. This will soften the heart. So, visiting Qabristan is an antidote for the hardness of the heart. فَلَمَّا صِرْتُ إِلَى مَحَلَّةِ الْأَمْوَاتِ وَكِفَاتِ الرُّفَاتِ. Then when I had reached the maqam and the place, mahalla, the neighborhood of the dead, and the storehouse of the moldering remains. Sirtu yani wasaltu. Mahalla, from halla yahullu, we just said hina halaltu sawa. Mahalla, where people descend, the neighborhood. Amwat, plural of mayyit. Kifat, kafata yakfitu kaftan, means to gather, jama karna. Alam naj'alil arda kifata ahya'an wa amwata. Did we not make the earth which gathers people? And rufat, rafata yarfitu raftan, means tukde tukde kar dena, to break something. So aidha kunna idhaman wa rufata, when we are buried in the qabr, the earth decomposes our body, and after 6 months or a year, if you dig the grave, all you will find is scattered bones. So our remains, which are scattered and broken. So when I reach the place, the neighborhood of the dead, and the storehouse, the gathering place of moldering remains, हड्डियों को जमा करने वाली जगह कब्रिस्तान, राइतु जमअन अला कब्रिन युहफर व मजनूजिन युकबर. I saw a bheed, a crowd over a qabr which had been dug, and over a janaza which was being buried, a corpse which was being buried. Jam'un, bheed, crowd. Qabrin yuhfar, qabr which was dug. Hafara yahfiru hafran, to dig. And majnuzin yuqbar, janaza yajnizu, janazan means to lift up, to carry. And because janaza is carried on the shoulders, it's called majnuz, marfu'. Yuqbar, which is being put in the grave. فانحزت إليهم متفكرا في المآل ومتذكرا من درج من الآل. So I drew close to them, meditating of the end of man and remembering those who had gone ahead from the family members. In haza yanhazu in hiyazan, simatana, to lean towards someone. Tafakkara, to meditate, ponder. Ma'al, ending. So I drew close to them, pondering over my ending. Mutadhakkiran man daraja min al-al, remembering those family members who had passed. فَلَمَّا أَلْحَدُوا الْمَيْتِ وَفَادَ قَوْلُ لَيْتِ. When they had put the mayyit inside the lahad, and the saying of later was over. Al-hada yulhidu ilhadan means to put on one side. In the Islamic qabristan, the mayyit is put in lahad, not in shaq. Lahad is on one side. So they put the mayyit inside the lahad, and fata yafutu fawtan, to cut off, to seize, to finish, to escape. Later is from af'ali naqisa. Inna annaka anna lakinna layta la'alla. It means I wish. Normally when someone dies in an accident or something, people say later. I wish he didn't cross the road. I wish he didn't go to that place. I wish he stayed with us. So this later saying, the word later, alas, was over. Ashrafa shaykhun min rubawa mutakhassiran bihirawa. An old man appeared from hillock and leaning on a staff, walking stick. Ashrafa yushrifu, to peep onto something. Rubawa means a hilltop, a small hill. وَآوَيْنَاهُمَا إِلَىٰ رَبْوَةٍ ذَاتِ قَرَارٍ وَمَعِينٍ. Raba yarbu means uthna, buland hona. So rubawa, uthi hui zameen. Mutakhassiran, takhassara yatakhassaru, from khasira. Khasira means kuh, hip. So takhassara means to hold something near your hip, and that is the walking stick, because walking stick has to be near the size of the hip so you can hold it properly. And harawa means lathi. Huzur Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's awsaf, one of the wasf is sahibul harawa, a man of asa who used to carry walking stick when walking. وَقَدْ لَفَّعَ وَجْهَهُ بِرِدَائِهِ وَنَكَّرَ شَخْصَهُ لِدَهَائِهِ. He had veiled his face with a cloak and disguised his form due to craftiness. لفع يلفع تلفيعا كمعنى لپیٹنا. He had covered his face and लपेटा था उसके कपड़े पर अपनी चादर को, रिदा चादर. अन्नक्करा युनक्किरु तनकीरन के माना बदलना, चेंज करना, to disguise. शख्सहु, his that, he has disguised himself lidahaihi, due to his craftiness. दहिय यदहा दहाअन के माना मकारी करना. فقال, he said, لمثل هذا فليعمل العاملون فادكروا أيها الغافلون وشمروا أيها المقصرون وأحسنوا النظر أيها المتبصرون. Let those who work for an end like this. Now take this advice, O ye negligent, and prepare yourselves, O ye slothful ones, and look well, O ye observers. Limisli haza, for an end like this, or for a place like this, the workers should work. This is part of Qurani ayat. لمثل هذا فليعمل العاملون وفي ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون. Allah mentioned Jannat in Surah Al-Saffat, 23rd Sipara, 6th Ruku. And Allah said, لمثل هذا فليعمل العاملون. For Jannat and this final ending should the workers work. فَالدَّكِرُوا iddakara yaddakiru iddikaran is from zakara yadhkuru dhikran to iddakara se iddakara ban gaya. Tadhakkara se iddakara. Tadhakkaru. Take thought and think carefully. Ayyuhal ghafilun, O ye negligent ones. Washammiru, get ready. Shammara means to prepare. And gird yourselves and prepare. Ayyuhal muqassirun, O ye slothful ones. Qassara means to fall short, who are falling short of what is required of them. And look well, O ye observers. Ma lakum, what's up with you? La yahzunukum dafnul atrab, wa la yahulukum hayru turab. The burying of your fellows does not grieve you, and the pouring of the soil does not frighten you. Malakum alf istifham hai. What's up with you? La yahzunukum, hazana yahzunu, to grieve, to sadden. Dafnul atrab, burying the fellows. Atrab is plural of tirbun, and tirbun means fellow, contemporary, or ham umar. Those who are similar in age with you, your contemporaries. Burying does not sadden you. Wala yahulukum haylu turab. Hala yahulu hawlan ke mana ghabrana, chौंकाना, frighten. And hala yahilu haylan, hala turab means mitti dalna, to throwing the soil over your fellows does not frighten you. ولا تعبؤون بنوازل الأحداث ولا تستعدون لنزول الأجداث. You do not heed upon the descending misfortunes, and you do not prepare for going down into the graves. لا تعبؤون عبأ يعبأ عبأ بمعنى परवाह करना. قل ما يعبأ بكم ربي لولا دعاؤكم. You do not care. You're not careful. You do not care. بنوازل الأحداث. بنوازل الأحداث. This is إضافة الصفة إلى الموصوف. Because the meaning is بالأحداث النازلة. الأحداث is موصوف, النازلة is صفة. तो उसको उल्टा कर देते हैं तो إضافة الصفة إلى الموصوف. ولا تعبؤون بالأحداث النازلة. You do not care for the visiting misfortunes, the misfortunes which descend upon you. ولا تستعدون. استعد يستعد استعدادا means prepare. لنزول الأجداث, for going down into the graves. أجداث is plural of جدث. جدث means قبر. يوم يخرجون من الأجداث سراعا كأنهم إلى نصب يوفضون. ولا تستعبرون لعين تدمع ولا تعتبرون بنعي يسمع. And you are not moved to tears for the eye that weeps, nor do you take any lesson from the death announcement which is heard. استعبر يستعبر. عبر يعبر عبرة means to cry and to shed tears. استعبر means to bring tears to the eyes. So you do not bring tears to the eyes. You are not moved to the tears. لعين تدمع, for an eye which is weeping. You see someone crying, but you don't feel like crying upon their crying. You're not moved to tears by seeing someone who is crying. And وَلَا تَعْتَبِرُونَ, اعتبر is from ibrat. Ibrat means lesson. So you do not take a lesson بِنَعْيٍ يُسْمَعْ, from the death announcement which is heard. نَعَا يَنْعَى. نَعْيًا means to announce the death of someone. فإن مت فنعيني بما أنا أهله وشقي علي الجيب يا ابنة معبدي is in the share in Sabah Mu'allaqa. فنعيني, announce my death in the manner which I deserve. ولا ترتاعون لإلف يفقد ولا تلتاعون لمناحة تعقد. And you are not frightened and alarmed when an intimate friend is lost, and you are not saddened when a mourning majlis and assembly is gathered. Irta'a yarta'u irtiya'an is from ra'a yaru'u raw'an. Ra'a yaru'u means chonkna. فلما ذهب عن إبراهيم الروع. तो irta'a ये माना चौंक जाना. You are not frightened لإلف يفقد. إلف بمعنى أليف, بمعنى مانوس, someone with whom you are مانوس, intimate, close. فقد يفقد, to lose. يفقد, who is lost. You are not frightened when an intimate, close friend is lost. ولا تلتعون. التاع يلتع التياعا لا يلوع لوعا, बेचैन हो जाना. तुम बेचैन नहीं होते. You are not saddened and grieved. لمناحة تعقد. مناحة مجلس النوحة. ناح ينوح نوحا means to wail. So مناحة majlis of wailing, assembly of mourning, mourning. You are not saddened when a mourning assembly is gathered. يشيع أحدكم نعش الميت وقلبه تلقاء البيت. One of you, चलो इसको युशय्यु से बाद में पढ़ना क्योंकि लंबा कलाम हो जाएगा. फिर शुरू से पढ़ लो. Harith ibn Hammam says, I felt in my heart hardness, and when I descended in Sawa, so I betook the tradition, the hadith, which is narrated with regards to curing it by visiting the graves. Then, when I reached the neighborhood of the dead, and where the which is the storehouse of the moldering remains, I saw a crowd on a grave which was dug, and a janaza which was being put in the qabr. So I leaned towards them, meditating over the final ending and the life after death. Ma'al, the final ending, life after death, I have to come here as well. And bringing into mind those family members who had passed. So when they had put the mayyit in the qabr and the words of later had cut off and ceased, an old man appeared from a hilltop, holding on and resting on a staff. He had veiled his face with his cloak and disguised his form due to his craftiness. And he said, for such a place should the workers work. Therefore, think carefully, O ye negligent ones, and get ready, O ye slothful, and look well, O ye observers. Why is it that what is with you, that the burying of your fellows contemporaries does not grieve you, and the pouring of the mitti and soil does not frighten you, and you do not care for those misfortunes and calamities which are descending on you, and you are not getting ready for going down into the graves, and you are not moved to tears at the eyes that weep, and you do not take lesson from the death announcement which is made, which is heard, and you are not affrighted when an intimate friend is lost, and you are not saddened when a mourning assembly is gathered. जाओ, याद करके आना अच्छी तरह.
When you learn Maqaamat, you should memorize the vocab or memorize the poem. It would be better to memorize the poem and translation or to know each vocab.
No, vocab words should be learned properly. Maqaamat is so that you can have a beautiful vocabulary in your mind, so that when you want to speak in Arabic, you have the words in your mind.